What's up, Vape Church? This is Eddie. Good to see you again. Got your weekly word for you. This is something I think it's going to touch you and something you're going to enjoy. Hopefully it's going to bless you. We're going to be in the book of John in the 6th chapter. We're starting in verse number 1. Now I'm going to read this from the Amplified Bible again. It's my King James Bible, but it has Amplified version in it. It's just it's the King James Version for dummies is what it is. And it works pretty good for me. I like it. I've read it and looked at it, and I feel like it's a good interpretation. It's not misleading in any way. So that's what we're going to go with, and I hope everybody's enjoying it. So anyway, we're going to start verse 1 of chapter 6 in John. It says, Jesus went to the further side of the Sea of Galilee, that is the Sea of Tiberias, and a great crowd was following him because they had seen the signs, miracles, which he continually performed upon those who were sick. And Jesus walked up the mountainside and sat down there with his disciples. Now the Passover, the feast of the Jews, was approaching. Jesus looked upon them, and seeing that a vast multitude was coming toward him, he said to Philip, "Where are we to buy bread so that all these people can eat?" But he said this to prove or to test him, for he well knew what he was about to do. So Jesus knew what he was about to do, but he was asking Philip to see where his faith was. And Philip answered him and says, 200 pennies worth of bread is not enough that everyone may receive even a little. So they only had 200 pennies worth. And Jesus said, It said, and another one of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, "There is a little boy here who has with him 5 barley loaves and 2 small fish. But what are they among so many people?" They asked Jesus. Jesus said, "Make all the people recline or sit down." Now the ground was covered with thick grass at the spot where they were, so the men threw themselves down, about 5,000 of them. Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks to God, he distributed it to the disciples, and the disciples distributed to the reclining people. So also he did with the fish, as much as they wanted. When they had all had enough, he said to his disciples, "Gather up now the fragments, the broken pieces that are left over, so that nothing may be lost and wasted." So accordingly they gathered them up, and they filled 12 small handbaskets with fragments left over by those who had eaten from the 5 barley loaves. When the people saw the sign or the miracle that Jesus had performed, they began saying, "Surely and beyond a doubt, this is the prophet who is come into the world." And this is another one of Jesus' miracles, the feeding of the 5,000. He fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fishes. But how did he do that? Well, he did it through his thanksgiving to God and trusting God that it would be enough. And I don't know how it produced enough, and I don't know how it produced 12 baskets full left over. But that's the miracle of Jesus. Just like we don't know how he healed people, and we don't know how he, did all the things he did. He did it through God. Our brains cannot fathom that. But what I want you to see from this message is not that he did that miracle. I want you to get this part here. Another of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, "There is a little boy here who has with him 5 barley loaves and 2 small fish." Okay, you're thinking, well, what does that mean to me? What does that have to do with me? Well, think of yourself as that little boy. And even though you may not have a lot to offer to this world is huge and big. And you may not feel like you have a lot to offer to this world. But if you take your few little loaves that you have and your couple of fish that you have, and you give them to Jesus, it becomes a lot. He can do a lot with you, and he can do a lot with what little bit you have, and he can turn it into a lot. He can turn it into, unknown proportions that can help many, many multitudes of people. So don't be so quick to put yourself down or feel like you don't have anything to offer. I mean, even like with me doing this thing on Facebook with Vape Church Knoxville, it's not very big. There's not a whole lot of people that look at it. Maybe 30 or 40 people look at it. But you know, he's taken these 5 loaves and 2 fishes that I have, and someday that's going to be grown because I'm giving thanks for it. I'm giving thanks that I'm being able to do something to help anybody, even if it's just one person. So don't be so quick to discount yourself or say, well, I'm not that important. I don't have that much to offer. Maybe you don't have that much to offer, but if you offer what you have to Jesus, he can turn it into a great multitude of things, just like he did in this story. So don't put yourself down. Put Jesus first and put yourself right behind him because you are a son and daughter of God. And as long as you profess that and you believe that, he will grow you. I promise. So, well, guys, I hope this was a blessing to you. I know it was kind of a short, simple message, but it's very powerful. So, you all have a good week. God bless you, and we'll see you again next week.